Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked at your income and said to yourself, I feel like I should be more ahead? You're not broke, you're not struggling, you're just stuck. You make good money. On paper, you're doing really well, but somehow cash feels tight, decisions feel reactive, and every financial decision feels heavier than it should. And what makes it worse is that you don't talk about it, because from the outside, everything looks fine. Today, I want to talk about why high income earners feel broke and why almost no one is honest about it. Here's the truth. High income earners don't feel broke because they lack income. They feel broke because they lack control. There's a difference. You can earn 6 figures and still feel stressed, overcommitted, and one decision away from disaster. It's not because you're irresponsible, but because your financial life has quietly become fragile, and fragility is exhausting. Most people never learn how to recognize this, and it's simply because most of the time we're told to just earn more, invest more, or just be more disciplined. But high income earners already did that, and yet the pressure still remains. Here's what no one says out loud. When your income goes up, expectations go up with it. Your lifestyle expands. Responsibilities multiply, commitments stack up, and slowly, without even realizing it, you stop asking, is this working for us? But then you start asking yourself, how do we keep this going? That shift is dangerous. And the reason for that is because you're no longer leading your finances, you're simply maintaining. Maintenance feels like progress until it doesn't. This is where the mental tension comes from. Your brain says, I'm successful. Your nervous system says something's off. And because you're capable, driven, and intelligent, you say to yourself, or you assume, it must be me. You start thinking, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I should be doing something better. Maybe I need to optimize more. So what do? You start to read more, you start to watch more, and you try all these different strategies. But clarity never comes. You see, that's not a knowledge problem. That's a structure problem. Here's the core issue. High income earners don't have a financial system. They have income, they have accounts, they have tools, and they have tactics, but no coherent strategy guiding decisions. Everything is technically fine, but there's no intentionality. Money moves, but without direction. And when money moves without direction, it brings on or creates anxiety, no matter how much you make. This is why people that make less money but have more structure feel more at peace. Here's why this problem stays hidden. High income earners don't complain because complaining feels or is seen as ungrateful. They don't ask for help because they're seen as the capable one. They're supposed to be that person. And they don't admit to being confused because confusion is seen as a failure. So they stay silent. And the silence begins to stack up. And as that silence begins to stack up, they get stuck. This is one of the most isolating financial positions to be in. Too successful to relate to struggle advice, too uncertain to feel confident. This is critical. More income does not solve directional confusion. It only amplifies it. And the reason for this is because the decisions now have higher stakes. Mistakes can feel more expensive, and complexity just simply increases. Without guidance, more money just simply means more confusion, more noise, more pressure, more second guessing. This is why so many high income earners say, I make so much more money than I ever thought I would, yet I feel more stressed out than ever. See, that's not failure. That's simply a misalignment. Let me reframe this. Feeling stuck isn't a financial math issue. It's a leadership issue. Not leadership over people, but leadership over your finances. Having financial leadership means having clear decisions, intentional systems, long-term thinking, decision-making confidence. And leadership requires guidance. Every high-performing area in life works this way. It works in business, it works in health, it works in relationships. Finances are no different. Trying to lead something that's really complex all by yourself doesn't make you strong. It makes you feel more isolated. All of this matters if you're a high-income professional or couple, you're doing well but feel constrained, you're tired of reacting instead of leading, you care more about long-term outcomes as opposed to short-term wins. If that's you, you're not broken. You're just operating without enough clarity. Clarity doesn't come from tactics. It comes from structure, perspective, and mentorship. That's why we work with families and professionals inside a guided mentorship. Not to give them more information, but to help them regain control, to replace confusion with direction, and to replace stress with confidence. This isn't for everyone, but for the right people, this changes everything. If this video resonated with you, it's most likely because it describes something that you haven't said out loud. And that's okay. Awareness is the first step to leadership. Remember this: feeling stuck doesn't mean failing. It just simply means it's time to lead differently.